basically, I started as a student here at college, and everything was going well till about halfway through the year, where I couldn't write music. I was dropping like quite badly. I saw my friends like progressing. They were able to do stuff that I couldn't do, and in the end it led me to losing place on course. So after that, obviously, as being a music student, I only had a practice guitar at that time, just a basic starter kit one. And then I always thought to myself, I want to be as good as them, but rather than sound fancy, I want to be one of these that I experiment a lot. So if you've got a guitar, how much can you do with it, and how can you make it sound like anything you want it to, whether it be really clean and like happy, or whether it's really ugly, nasty sounding, almost like you could do anything with it, make any kind of sound. And then going from there, I'd practice over the years, and I'd then upgrade from a 6 to a 7, which this is why we've got the guitars here, 7, 8 and a 9, which I'll go through a bit more with you. But with the 7 then I learned about octaves, so rather than people tuning guitars down to try and reach them lower octaves, you can use the extra string. You can do it that way, you can be a bit more practical with what you're doing. And it was one of those that kind of took over, and then it was a case of musical influences. When I was at the college, there was a lot of people into indie music, and there was like grunge, which is a good obviously genre of music. And then it was a case of then after that, I was the only one who was listening to like death metal. So I liked doing a lot of Cannibal Corpse, all like traditional disgusting sounding bands. And then it was a case of the thing that got me to where I am today is I hit a wall. And that was when I heard like one of the most like intense bands, in my opinion. Who's heard of a band called Berserker? Yeah, so you know, Australian grindcore, yeah? When I heard that, that was when I kind of like went, I'm not going to play again. Because like, seen them 3 times, met them, spoke to them, spoke about instruments, and it just blew my mind. I couldn't do anymore. I just thought, too far in advance, I've gone too far, too quick. I need to go back and obviously learn what I've been playing. And with me, I was always one of them listening to music on the radio, or like watching someone on like computer or TV, just watching them playing and think, oh, that's what he's playing. And like, even though I can't read or write music, I've always been able to tune by ear. I can hear a chord and go, that's where it, like, that's that chord, but I've got this kind of instrument, so where else can I play it to make it a bit more fun? And it was kind of like self-teaching myself, but teaching in a way whereby I was too stubborn to ask for the help. Like, I didn't believe in, this is me personally, but I didn't believe in buying guitar lessons by somebody who's probably read from a book, doesn't have the same kind of probably hidden talents I did, or what I think I have. I'm quite passionate about that, because a lot of people play instruments and they always hear someone else who's better, who can like twiddle like thousands of notes, make them sound good. But if you're one of these where you can play something, again, whatever the chords would be, whether they'd be big, whether they'd be drop D, whether you had stuff like pinched harmonics, it was always about trying to be fair and equal with what you could do and what you could show other people. And that's what I wanted to do, which then led me then on to going from a 7 to an 8. Because after when I learned for a while and hit that brick wall and I thought death metal's not my thing, I looked into like slower styles of music whereby it relied more on not just chords, but like just playing whole 1-string notes. And then obviously that took off, and then you have Gent, which is that style. But I went through all that, then I went through a phase of listening to Meshuggah, got into that. And then that's then what then progressed me to then go, right, well, I've got all these lower strings, like I've got another one now. And then I started playing a bit of jazz through it as well, because originally jazz and blues, they go from like anywhere between 6 and 10 string, which I haven't got one of them. I haven't got one. I'd love one, but I haven't got one. And I got very influenced listening to like a lot of really old school like artists that I have to admit I've never seen anything online by them apart from what people put on. And I then progressed with that, tried playing some of that, and then as I built up strength to play these, I then had a really bad accident. I like broke my back, lost both feeling in both arms, could only turn my head for about 3-4 months, and that was when another point where I thought I wouldn't play again, and everything that I'd done from college, self-teaching myself, that all gone out the window. Like I thought I was on a downward slope, and then obviously after a long time of seeing some really good people, I managed to get the feeling back and was able to walk again after about 7-8 months. And the hardest part was having to relearn everything, because even though in your head you've got it, like you know where you're playing it, it was a case of learning your motor skills. So if I was able to do like legatos like or pull-offs, my hand couldn't do it. I had to train myself to do it again. And that's kind of like my little story then to then. I played these and I was feeling like I couldn't get the strength back. So because then I'd experimented from a 6 to a 7, 7 to an 8, I then went to this thing, this 9-string, which again goes even lower, but it actually like influenced me to actually like open my hand more and like gain strength even more from there. And then ever since I've had this one, I've done nothing but make a lot of noise from it. like obviously these, you play chords, you can play whatever style of music you want, but with this one, this is what's made me the musician I am today. So it's all about you playing, fair enough. I don't call it heavy metal or metal or anything, I just play disgusting music. Because it's more like soundtrack music, anything that you can get to sound dirty or anything that you can get to sound low, this does it. But during my recovery process, I was playing bass as well, but I wanted like best of both worlds. So I come up with the hybrid. This basically, it's guitar and bass in one. And it's the lightest one out of the 3 of them. So, again, designed light as well because of my back. Like I walk and like I put on a brave face when I walk around, but I am in pain most of the time. So again, with this kind of instrument, I wanted something where I could play it, be happy on it, do what I want to do on it, but obviously not hurt myself. And obviously not feel like I'm struggling. And then within this, getting this instrument, comes another story of when I actually met the guy who made this, who's a gentleman called Stephen Hart, of Hart's Guitars and Basses. And basically we got talking Facebook beforehand because he heard of my accident. I was on a guitar group. And he actually then decided to come and meet me in person because we had all these good chats. I was talking to him about what would be good for an instrument, what wouldn't be good. It's giving him basically ideas for his own company that I don't get paid for. But it was part of the recovery thing, it was keeping like my spirits high basically. And met him, and then because of the fact he heard about what I'd gone through and he knew that I didn't have much to my name, like money wise, I was struggling, like personal issues, and he wanted to design me something where, because I was on the mend, he wanted to design something where it was like best of both worlds, bass and the guitar. And we met, he come up with all these different designs, and the thing that like influenced me to like join his crew was the fact it's all custom and it's just wood. It's not like most guitars where there's a lot of metal to it. This is like as natural as you can get with an electric guitar, but it was something that kind of just, it kept my spirits up high. I got very involved. I went from learning music to then designing and influencing, like bringing like different electronics, different kind of pickups. Basically just wanted it so it's a different kind of guitar. It's like a new era of guitar building, but it's not. If you get the whole meaning of it, wood's just wood at the end of it. Anyone can cut a guitar out, but it's all a case of making it sound different. And like with this, I've done a lot of, this still isn't fully done, but again, got volume and tone in one. Got the switch between, this is a Lace 9 Duma pickup, something like that. So along those lines, again, this was a prototype, it was just sent as like, you've got bass, so this is your bass pickup. And then I wanted some of that control, similar kind of tone to what an active pickup does. And they give me the world's most powerfulest passive pickup, which is the Death Bar 9. You can get them for 6-string models, but again, it's a thin magnet, like there's nothing to it. And again, the sounds from these and most generic like guitars you can play, like the ones in the room over there, it's just different sounding, it's different metals that are used in it, different wiring, different way how it's been done. And again, coming through all that, then replaced obviously the original tone with Kill Switch, which again, if I demonstrate anything to you, I'll show you why I use it, obviously along with my gear. But again, it's multiple woods, it's this like I think it's 3-4 pieces of wood, Japanese purple art, then this is Japanese bronze tiger, I think it is, because when you hold it, I don't know if you can see it, but in the light, obviously around the edges, the colour does change, naturally changes with the light, and that's with the polishes that he puts on it as well. Again, just something a lot different, something I wanted to do, and I think that's just ebony that on the neck. But it's just a case of I just wanted something different, and during the recovery, that's the guitar that helped me carry on and just do what I want to do. And that's as basically as it, like the limit it's got to the point now where I'm doing more soundtrack like styles of like metal now. So I'm trying to design, like I'm doing a band at the moment, just myself. Similar to like Buckethead. You've heard guitarist Buckethead play Guns N' Roses, blah blah blah, all them. Where it's kind of like that, but it's sci-fi, and it's like the game Doom, and then it's like my style, and then it's just smashed. And then if it sounds good, it sounds good. If it doesn't sound good, not my loss at the end of it, it's whoever listens to it. Everyone's entitled to what they want to listen to, what they like. And at the moment, I'm just doing like solo stuff. Hopefully get to perform this year as well, like as a support act. But I'll be doing everything myself, do all the MIDI controlling myself. Which again, I've got another one of these, I haven't brought it with me because it's still in development. But it's got a Chaos pad in it. So you get like, you can get all sorts like Prodigy kind of sound, Pendulum, just anything that you want to just like bend it even more and manipulate it. Do that, because that's the whole point about this guitar, this hybrid. I wanted to design something that wasn't like your traditional guitars where it's just, oh wow, it's got 3 new strings on it, or it's got like 2, 1, whatever it is. I just wanted something that was completely different. Something whereby it's, fair enough, I brought that in, everyone was like, whoa, what's that? To me, it's just an instrument that I've designed. They are already out there. There's a lot, like big brands like Ibanez, they do them. Schecter do them. Anyone does them. Like BC Rich, who apparently don't make guitars now. ESP. They've got 8 and 9s, ESP. They all do it, it's just they won't do them like that. And they won't do them to obviously like what ideas I've got like with the Chaos pad. And basically that's where I'm at now. And I was told to come in, just because I always used to talk to not just yourself or like a few others, if like there's a few that aren't here that I've spoken to and like kind of surprised. And I spoke to Sonny, and then I kept annoying Sonny with like, oh, wouldn't it be cool just to come back to college for one day and like share kind of like my story. I know it's probably not an interesting story to some, but obviously with you guys who obviously are coming to listen to me and obviously show an interest in these extended range guitars. The only reason being extended range is because the necks are bigger. You've got different dimensions to it, like a standard one, like ones you would play from the office over there. They're like 24-inch scale neck, 24.5. These go up like 25.4, 27.5, 28.5. That should be a 30 because of the bass string, but the way how we've designed it though, I can keep it like under the 30 mark, which is going into bass territory then. But that's where I'm into now, just getting an instrument, try and make something of it. And there we are.
Have we got any questions? I think Mike, there you are.
Yeah, I noticed you had your hand up before.
I was going to ask like the wood on the guitar, but you covered that.
All right, yeah.
Are they all your like signature models?
That 7 is my early prototype, because again, when he designed this one for me, I was telling Brandon about this. He's not a guy that uses software like all the big companies do. Like obviously they map it all out, they get a machine to cut it out. Fair enough, he has a machine to cut it out, but his way of doing it, which shocked me, especially with that one, he got my 7-string model of the 8, put it down, and he got sugar paper, and he drew around my guitar. And then all he did was cut, fold it. And at first I thought he was like something from Blue Peter. Like, he was doing some really mad stuff. He was like, I want the nut here, I want this here. Even though it's my guitar, it's my say. I trust him with it, and he was like, right, and the frets are going to go here. Because originally that was fan fret, but I couldn't do fan fret because obviously rather than being straight, you get lower scale on your low end, shorter scale on your high end, like normal guitars. But he'd get the sugar paper and he'd fold it and he'd cut it, and then he'd go, I like that. And then he'd use like just a bog standard scanner, you know, like a photocopier. Just put it in, photocopied it, uploaded it then back onto his computer, and then mapped it on to the cutter.
Yeah.
And then all it did was cut the spikes, and all the bottom part, like he did by hand. Every one of these that I made, you wanted one like that one, you won't get one like that one again. You get one similar, but like the headstock on that is probably the most disgusting headstock I've seen. It looks cool at the top, but then you've got like a random cutout. And that was because at the time it was a prototype, we just wanted to see what it'd be like. Whether it could carry tone with obviously the kind of nut we've got on it, because there's different kinds of nuts that you can get put on customs. He would then go and do this and go, what do you think of that? And if I didn't like it, he'd rip it all apart again. And that one's my custom 7, which is actually designed not to my playability, but I had an interest at one point in trying to sweep pick, but I can't do it. To me, it's impossible. So rather than it being like this one, that one's your bridge, that's in between, then that's your neck. This one's backwards. So that is your neck, that is your bridge. But obviously the reason for that is when you sweep pick, most people that do sweep pick like to go up and then down. Some people will do down and up, but a lot of people who are doing, say like a thrashy song, very fast one, they'll start with like an upward sweep. And that was the whole idea. We wanted to see if we could create something that was different, rather than again being very generic, like bridge in between the neck. Again with that one's just the same as this kind, but this one we wanted to flip it all. Like for my idea, the body would be on the other way around.
Right.
I'd have a bigger spike at the bottom, a shorter one at the top. But again, we wanted to do something that was low. Again with this one, you won't notice it until you feel it, but there's a groove.
Yeah.
So when you write down at the very bottom, your finger just slides.
Yeah.
It slides, there's no strain. Like with this one, obviously you go right down, you've got a strain to get right down. With that one, your hand literally just sits
Yeah.
right at the bottom. And
Cut nicely for it.
again, obviously, you've got thinner fingers than what I have. You'd be able to go right down there, you won't struggle. With me, I can't get that high down. But again, use different kinds of bridges. Like this one's just a standard Ibanez one, it's a fixed bridge, similar to like a Floyd Rose, but it doesn't bend, it doesn't move.
Right.
It's just designed 2 pivots, bolts it down so then it don't go anywhere.
Cool.
That one's a hip shot, so it's designed for like sustain. So you smack a low B, which obviously is just, on here it's just like an E chord. Like that would be classed as being. If you wanted to do something like that, or a drop D, like on a 6th string you would bar it, on the 3rd disc you'd do an actual G chord.
Cool.
on that. But again, these ones are designed so then you get better sustain, more for like a solo player.
Mm.
And then that one is just my thing. Like, again, I can't describe it. Like, you could probably play on that in a bit and go, God, this feels really awful, like, I don't like this. Like, it's weird, like you were saying, this is the heaviest one.
Yeah.
That's the one in between, that's the lightest one out of the lot of them. And again, it's because of the woods that I've used, obviously because of the injury I had, and I had to think of being able to balance it so it wasn't neck heavy, because you can imagine that many strings, it would tilt, but that doesn't tilt. But again, that's my prototype 7. That's just your standard 8-string that. They don't do this model anymore now. There's a better one that's come out. I'll be honest, it's a completely better one, but again, I got them sent to me through EMG, through Hearts guitars, before 808s come out, like 808X come out. These are prototype 808X. And then, again, this one originally had passive and active pickups. You had a switch there, and it just up would be passive, which is a normal guitar, like in there. Or you'd flick it all the way down, and you get active. But I ripped that out and put a kill switch on it, and then I broke that now, so that's just like the little button of death that does nothing. It does work if you really do smack it and like abuse the guitar. It does work from time to time.
It's cool.
Could
Yeah.
you show some of them sounds that you've been, all these different types of effects and sounds that have,
All that I would do through
on
P9.
your- yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I do, like, I've not shown many people my music because, again, everyone has their own interests in what they like. But when I was saying before, I wanted to make sounds that sounded disgusting and low. Again, it all comes down to like what hardware you have. I always think the older the hardware, the better it sounds. Like this is just a Boss multi-effects pedal. It's about 12, maybe 13 years old, but it does everything that I want it to. So when it comes to like pitch bending, if I was doing like, I don't know how this will sound for you, right, because I'm sat back here, right, and I know the speakers are facing my way, but I'm used to my sound at home, so, but again,
I'm about to improvise a bit.
so when it comes to how low I want to go, again, this is like very, very clean tone. Like more like a poppy sound. But then if I use the, bear with me, if I use the bass pickup as well, I get more of a kind of. Kind of sound, so you get the pop, but you get the bass kind of sound, so that's where the hybrid's working already with it, because you combine 2 different kinds of pickups. And then if I was just use the bass pickup,
How's it tuned? I mean, you
right, tuning on this,
cover this one.
this is it is a question that something I should have said before, because these are all tuned ever so slightly different, but a 7 is like, it's basically your normal string tuning, E, A, D, G, B, E, but with the 7 string you get a low B, and then with the 8 string it's again standard 6 string tuning with a low B and an F sharp.
That's short down your fourth, then.
Yeah, and then this one is like 6 string tuning, low B, F sharp, C sharp.
Right.
But again, if it was me, when I play them at my house, they're all tuned half a step down, because again I used to play like stuff like Kiss, like Alice Cooper, so it's always like the classic rock tunings which sound better. Black Label Society as well, like that was the era I got into. Ozzy Osbourne, that half step down kind of stuff. But again, when you've got an instrument like this, you shouldn't need to tune down.
Yeah.
If I tune down like this, I could probably play. Oh, I wouldn't even want to imagine actually, because I know it sound really dirty and low, and like I know that this pedal won't be able to cope with it. Because obviously I use a rack system at home, so I've got different combinations I'm using. That may be for another day, maybe, I don't know. So. notes. And this is all I used to do with this pedal and with this guitar when I got them. Obviously when I got the pair of them together, this is actually the third time I've used this pedal with this. So again, I do a lot of it on the rack, but again, if I wanted to make it sound like, if I wanted to do a squeal, like a proper mad squeal, like the next time like harmonic. I have to admit I'm not the best guitarist, but that's all I would do. And the louder it gets, the more insane it sounds. And then when it sounds insane, then your friends don't like you for it. And that's genuinely true. Like I've had friends that they won't play guitar with me, even if I've got a 6-string. Because they'll just think, alright, he's going to do all that, he's going to act stupid again, so. But again, like growing up, like when I heard like the band Berserker and all that, I wanted something, when I was then getting into sci-fi, like style of writing music, like I'm doing now, I'd want to make something sound where your ears would know about it. And again, you'd be bending all sorts, whether it be delay, but then add another effect, just thinking of one off the top of my head, like a chorus.
It sounds proper alien, futuristic, like a bit like Arrival. I don't know if you've seen Arrival, the movie, but it's kind of like almost that.
And then with this kind of effect, what I would do it so then, rather than just go, oh, I'm going to do guitar, I'm going to do these chords, and then I'm going to end with just a smacked open chord. You want somewhere where people can would flinch to it. So if I was playing, I'd be playing like, I don't know, oh God, not with that on, please. But if I was there, anything that I could do to make it sound messed up, I would do. And that's with this, it's like, oh, with the kill switch, like everyone asks me, like, what do you do with the kill switch? It's like, for example, so instead of a tremolo pedal, so you can mess around with it. Never slow that down, it won't play. But this is what I mean, like, don't get me wrong, you have them kind of players that playing, they're just so, I have to admit, there's probably, like, I know that you're pretty good at playing, I've heard you play, but there could be people, because I hear them all the time playing the guitar.
It's insane.
But some people probably can like solo, like proper riff, I can't do that. Well, not now after the accident, like I've learned how to obviously play what I can play. But when I knew I was limited, I thought, mess it up deliberately, just really annoy people. And that's what I now do. Because it's a shock factor as well when you're playing any style of music, whether it's something that's anthem based, like arena based, we say, like bad example. Well, good example actually, Nickelback. As much as a lot of people don't like them, they play arenas and all that, it's very anthem music, it's very catchy to some people, to me it's not. But they do kind of stuff and it sounds good, but then there's my kind of shock factor where it's like, oh wow, that sounds mad. Do that again, make it squeal and make it like proper scream. And then I'll like put like again octave pedal on and it's like, and there's a lot of that as well when you're pinching as well, your mouth starts going, you're like. Trust me, it'll be a lot